Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, welcome to Geek Syndicate episode 347. We are doing what we always do, and that is to bring the sass back to geekdom. I am Monts, and with me is...
Let me strive every moment of my life to make myself better and better to the best of my ability, that all may profit by it. Let me think of the right and lend my assistance to all those who need it with no regard for anything but justice. Let me take what comes of a smile without loss of courage. Let me be considerate of my country and my fellow citizens and my associates in everything I say and do. Let me do right to all and wrong no man.
So that was Nuge quoting Doc Savage, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, but
You know what?
I don't know.
So basically the answer to that was yes, that's right.
Yes, that's right. That is Doc Savage, the code of Doc Savage.
Wow, difficult does this have to be, man?
Yeah, I know, man. Well, it's late. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. What's got you in the Doc Savage mood?
Well, it's gonna come out in the week that was, so I've got a book to talk about. But there's a new Doc Savage book out.
New? What, comic or book?
No, book.
Wow, where did that come from? Who saw that coming?
Came from James Patterson.
That name, hold on.
He writes the Alex Cross books.
Yeah, I thought I knew that name.
Yeah. So he's done. We'll get into it in week that was, but he's done the Doc Savage book and he's done a Shadow book as well. The Shadow.
Okay, all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Anyone you want to give a shout out to beginning of the show?
Yes, I want to give a shout out to. I don't know why I needed to shout that, but do you know what I mean? Give a shout out to Anwar, who sent us an email, mainly me, because what he basically said was I'd mentioned some time ago. Well, it wasn't that long ago that I'd done my back in.
Mm.
And he actually sent me along some exercise tips.
Oh, nice.
Stuff that I could be doing. I don't know if that was his way of saying, like, you lazy bastard.
He's probably saying that he recognises that you're getting old.
Yeah, I know, man.
Yeah.
Although I am walking. You know what I mean? So when I say to people, my back's okay. I am walking, doing exercise. Maybe not 5 days a week, but, start.
Right. Yeah. Well, thanks, Anwar, because you know what? Anwar's always there. He's always looking out for us. So, my man, cheers.
What I really need is for someone to kind of invent a super soldier serum that I could just take with a glass of whiskey in an armchair. And then when I wake up next morning, I'm like a cross between like Captain America and Black Panther or something. Black Nuge.
Kind of already there, to be honest.
Yeah.
if we're just going by descriptions, you know what I mean?
Who was that man? Black Nuge.
Yeah. How could you tell? It was Nuge. It's black. That's like the superhero I created called Man. He has all the powers of a man. Yeah. That one went more down with my kids as well. But,
I bet it did, mate.
Yeah. Cool. I've got a shout out for Michaela, who is... I was doing panto up in the north of England, and one night we went clubbing, and she was out, obviously been drinking most of the day, and she went up to the choreographer and went, I feel like I'm seeing people from a panto. And she was like, no, we're all here. We're actually here. You're not seeing And we just got chatting, had a good time, kept in touch, and then suddenly Marvel came up and science fiction. I don't even know where it came up, but suddenly we're engaged in big chat about geek stuff, and it's really nice to meet someone by accident and then find
common ground.
So yeah, shout out to Michaela.
Hey up, Michaela.
Was that you doing Northern?
No, it wasn't actually. I was just saying, I was just like, what's up? But I don't know, man. I don't know. Just for people that know, I've been diagnosed with high cholesterol, so at the moment I've been cutting loads of things out to try and sort out my cholesterol, and it's just having a bit of an effect on me. I feel like someone's giving me Nugenite. It's just sapping my powers.
Oh, this is going to be a good show already. All right.
Yeah. Should we just get on with some news, man?
It's time for the news.
Aye. You got any news?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
that was news. So I got some news.
go on then.
So I want to give, it's a news / shout out, not that he listens, but I want to give it like a shout out and a hail up to Ki Hu Kwan,
Oh yeah,
who plays Short Round,
yeah.
and he was in. I've not seen the film yet. What's the weird?
Oh, everything, everywhere, always. Everything, everywhere,
Yeah.
all at once. I love that movie, man. Did I not talk about it on the show?
No.
Okay, that's for week that was then.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, because he won a Golden Globe.
Nice. Yeah. Practically everyone in that film deserves something, man.
Yeah, he won a Golden Globe for I think it was Best Supporting Actor or whatever. And Sue had sent me a clip of his speech today. I was tearing up, man. It's a good speech, man.
Oh really?
It's good, man. It's good. Because the thing is what he was saying was basically, and I've heard this a couple of times where he did like two of the biggest 80s films. You know what I mean? He did Temple of Doom and he did The Goonies. And then pretty much he got dropped. And other than sort of like, I think he likes Spielberg, whatever, he just wasn't getting any work, and he pretty much came out of the acting game and
went
stuff
into
like that.
Went into stunt work, didn't he?
Yeah, he went stunt work, up until Everything Everywhere All at Once. So I'm so chuffed that because I loved him in those films, you know what I mean? And I've been saying for years, man, that they should be doing like a Short Round spin-off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're now talking that apparently Disney Plus are developing like an Indiana Jones spin-off show, but it won't necessarily be Indiana Jones. But what he sort of said was, I think someone asked him on the podcast, and basically he sort of said, if they come to me, I'm in. That's it, yeah. Yeah, first of all, I love Short Round's character. He's so awesome. He's funny, he's courageous, he saves Indy's ass. And if Disney or Lucasfilm ever come to me, we want to do a Short Round spin-off, I'm there.
Wow.
And I'm just like, honestly, I don't know what Disney have got up their sleeves and Lucasfilm to do a kind of spin-off of the Indiana Jones world or whatever. But if you don't do Short Round when the man's telling you he's up for it, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, we should storm the castle, man.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be one of them geeks that starts sending like letters, but I might have to.
Yeah, it's been dying out for that for decades, man.
Do you know what I mean? He's the right age, and it would just work so well.
Yeah.
And I think he would get a following straight off the bat. I don't think there's going to be anyone that's going to turn around and go, "Oh, I can't believe it. Why are they doing a Short Round spin-off? That's just ridiculous." I don't think you'd get that. I think you would get an outpouring of like support for it.
I mean, it's such a story that needed telling. I mean, Indiana Jones is hanging around with this kid who is on top of it, yeah, and then suddenly just disappears from the world. What is that? How could you let something like that go? I'll never understand that. I'll never understand it.
Yeah.
Oh well. There we go. Yeah, I'm up for that. Bring it on.
Yep. Also, other bit of news is, did you know like they've done like another Luther movie?
I did know that. I saw it this week. Actually, I didn't see it. I mean, I saw. It must have come up in my timeline somewhere about it, but I had no idea that was coming.
No. Well, they've been talking about it for like years, and I just kind of assumed it was never going to happen. That he's moved on to other things now, and
then suddenly there it was.
Yeah. So it's Luther Fallen Son. It's out in March. And do you know who the villain is? Who plays the villain?
No.
Andy Serkis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, the movie picks up where the series ends.
I'm not even 100% sure I finished the series,
I can't even remember what happened at the end. Yeah, I can't remember.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, don't say it now. People might not have watched it. So, but basically, Serkis plays a millionaire called David Roby.
Classic millionaire villain.
Yeah, and I think the fact that his quote when they interviewed him was like, "When I first read the script, I almost wanted to throw it in the bin and have a shower. I don't think I've ever come across anything quite as dark for a long time."
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, and I thought, in fact, do I really actually, at this point in the world and time and in my life, want to go down this particular rabbit hole or something that's so hard to fathom in humanity? Wow.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that.
And that's my thing, is like I'm on the real kind of tip at the moment where I'm not really watching a lot of really bleak stuff.
Yeah.
And Luther, whilst it was really good, it was proper bleak.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I think it helps that it's a film as opposed to a series. I don't know if I could take like 5 episodes of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so looking forward to it at some stage. Might not watch it until like December. But
Yeah, exactly. Good to know it's out there.
yeah.
Still. Yeah.
Right.
All right. It's time then for the week that was. So I'm going to kick this off because I have been remiss in the fact that I didn't mention Everything Everywhere, whatever it's called. Do you know what? I'm going to have to look it up.
Everything Everywhere all at once. Isn't
it? Yeah. And I'm going to have to find a blurb because I don't know how else to describe what this is.
I remember seeing a trailer for it and thinking like I wasn't sure about it. But everyone's told me it's really good.
I'm going to say it's the best multiverse film I've ever seen.
Wow.
This is what Wikipedia says. Everything Everywhere All at Once is an American absurdist comedy drama film. The plot centers on a Chinese-American immigrant, played by Michelle Yeoh, who, while being audited by the IRS, discovers that she must connect with parallel universe versions of herself to prevent a powerful being from destroying the multiverse.
I don't know why I wouldn't have watched that.
The New York Times called the film a swirl of genre anarchy with elements of surreal comedy, science fiction, fantasy, martial arts film, and animation.
Wow. Okay.
I can't even begin to describe this film. If you don't end that film with your sitting there with your mouth open going, what? Then I don't know what's wrong with you. It's nuts. This film is absolutely nuts. Yeah, it's all of those things. Comedy, science fiction, fantasy, martial arts, animation. It's all of those things. And at the end of the day, it's about family.
Right.
And how you connect and disconnect and how you come back, find a way back together. And at the same time, it's nuts because sometimes in order to like, say you want to let's say you want to learn Kung Fu, you have to find the parallel universe version of yourself that knows Kung Fu. Yeah, connect with them and then suddenly you can do that. But to do that, you need some kind of trigger. So for some people, the trigger might be, poke yourself in the eye or snort some pepper or whatever it is. Everyone's got different triggers. And some of them are pretty far out. Where some of them will make your toes curl.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't even know what else to say. I just thought it was a work of genius.
Yeah, I need to get on it because it's on Amazon Prime, isn't it?
Watch it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna get on it, man.
I don't even know I don't know what else to say. I don't know how else to describe it. And there's some moments in it you went, what did they just do? It's like, I can't even,
So,
I loved it. I laughed out loud in places. I winced in places and I actually cried a little bit in others.
Wow, okay. All right. I'll get on it, man. Before we move on to the comics tip, I want to quickly mention the Ant-Man trailer. Have you seen the new Ant-Man trailer?
I haven't seen the trailer because I figured I'm going to watch it anyway.
Okay, but I have to say this,
and our old friend Adam worked on that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Nice. Love when he works there because that trailer was boom. Because here's the thing, and I could get shot down in flames for this, but The Marvel, what are we in now? Phase 4.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's not that I haven't been feeling it, but it just ever since Endgame, I just feel a
It's kind
little.
of where'd you go from here?
Yeah, I've just felt like I've been treading water a bit, where you get the occasional crest or wave where you're like, "Oh, that was all right," and then you're kind of back.
I think what's hard is that when phase 1 started, it wasn't even phase 1. It was just individual Marvel
It's
movies.
just
And then suddenly they found a way to make it work as a thing. And it's kind of spoiled us because now we've forgotten that everything doesn't always have to connect. So when they don't, we get disappointed, but they don't have to.
I think for me, it isn't even the fact that they don't connect once, because it's kind of like there's films in there that like I really enjoyed. I haven't seen the latest Black Panther yet, but I think that's out on Disney Plus next month. But like I really enjoyed like Shang-Chi, and do you know what I mean? There's a couple other ones in there I quite enjoyed. Eternals, but at least they were trying something. You know.
I quite enjoy. I feel like I'm the only one who quite enjoyed
No,
Eternals.
there's stuff in there I like, but as I said, overall it was like. Whereas I think with Ant-Man, it's not even to do with the fact that like it's got Kang in it and it's all going to lead it. It wasn't even to do this. It's the fact that I just watched that trailer and I was just like, that felt epic.
Okay, all right.
That felt epic in a way that I hadn't really felt watching trailers in a while. Marvel trailers in a while, with probably the exception of the first trailer they dropped for Black Panther 2, because that was pretty special.
Yeah.
So and epic in a way that I wasn't expecting from an Ant-Man film. And I really enjoy the Ant-Man films, but they're kind of a different. Do you know what I mean? They hit a different niche. Whereas this one just feels like it almost feels like this could have dropped straight after Endgame. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, all right. Okay, I'm up for that. It's interesting for me because I don't know nothing about Kang. I don't know the first thing about Kang because I didn't grow up. I grew up like DC, and I dipped into Marvel and stuff. You knew all the major players and all that, but so I don't know. I don't know a thing about Kang.
I don't remember. I remember. I know it's all to do. He's all to do with like timelines and multiverse and stuff. I don't remember a great deal about him, to be honest. He used to pop up every so often, but I can't really visualize him reading him when I was a kid. I don't remember him that well. Not like Doctor Doom. Do you know what I mean? If you give me Doctor Doom as like your main villain, I'm all over that. But yeah, I don't remember that much about him. But the guy, is it Jonathan Majors? He's playing him. Who's the guy from that something county?
Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lovecraft.
Was he in that? I think he was in that.
Yeah.
He's doing good work.
Lovecraft Country. Yeah, he was great in that.
Yeah, he's doing good work, man. And he's in Creed 3 as well.
Okay.
So anyway,
things he's going well for my boy.
Yeah, he's doing all right, man. He's doing all right. So quickly, I want to mention Treason, which is a Netflix show.
Is that the reality one?
No, that's Traitors.
Okay.
Yeah, which I have to say is worth a watch. I might talk about it another time, but that show is dark, man. No, Treason stars Charlie Cox.
Oh, okay.
Who played Daredevil. This is on Netflix. It dropped just after Christmas. And he plays the deputy head of I think it's MI. I was going to say MI5, but I think it's MI6 actually. Yeah, I think it is MI6. But the head of MI6 gets poisoned.
Okay.
So he has to basically take charge. So he's like the youngest ever like person to like become head of like MI6 or whatever. And in the very first episode, you find out some stuff about it that basically changes the game. And it was a good little show. It was a good little show, actually.
How long is it?
I think it's like 5 or 6 episodes.
Okay.
So it's doable. Do you know what I mean? It was alright, man. It was good. The first few episodes, I was kind of like, this is pretty standard, and I wasn't really, But then it kind of it picked up and it got a lot better. But I was talking to Ant about this, and I've got to say this: worst security details ever in this show.
Really?
The amount of times they're like, yeah, we'll give you, yeah, you've got your security deal outside. Yeah, okay. And then my boy's just slipping out the back and no one's not noticing it. It's just like,
Yeah, someone needs
they're,
to be handed their paycheck, man.
they're awful. There's one bit of guy that just drops him off somewhere. It's like, yeah, wait here. So, yeah, I'll be covering here, sir. Okay, cool. Literally just walks through a club, walks out the back door, gets in a cab, drives off. I was just
Wow.
like,
Wow.
the amount of people in this show that should have got sacked is ridiculous. Also, I kept thinking, why is he looking at people? Because he's supposed to be blind.
Oh no. Really?
Because of the Daredevil thing, I just see him as Daredevil.
Oh, of course. Okay, right. Charlie Cox is supposed to be the character. Yeah.
I just keep seeing him as Daredevil. So when he's talking to people, I'm like, but you're supposed to be blind. How could you see that? And then he gets into a fight with someone, and he gets like, right, he's struggling in the fight. I'm like, why are you struggling, man? You're Daredevil.
That's all you could see.
That's all I could see. I mean, it didn't take much for him to get typecast for me, man.
That's terrible. Poor Charlie.
In my head, it was like Daredevil, because why is Daredevil head of MI6 now? I don't understand. Why is he talking with a British accent? I don't get it. Yeah. So it's all right, though. It's all right. It's worth a little watch, but I wouldn't, if you've got other things on.
Oh man, I've got a few things like that I could tell you about. But I'm gonna talk about a movie, and I love the first thing I love about this movie is the title. It's called. It just makes me laugh. It's like someone forgot to put a word in the title. It's called Warriors of Future.
Oh. Is this a Korean?
No, it's a Chinese.
One.
It's a Chinese one.
They're all like in mech suits or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for this.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. I thought, I've got to watch this. But I was like, surely there should be a "the" in the
Warriors
title.
of the maybe there was a legal attempt to take it out.
And also, it doesn't even like Warriors of Future. I mean, that doesn't tell you anything. It's like, so well, I suppose it does. It's in the future.
And the Warriors.
The Warriors. It takes place in 2055. Yeah.
Right.
And wars have completely ravaged the Earth due to the use of advanced military robots, and global warming and pollution have contributed as well. So it's destroyed the environment, ruined the atmosphere. And they sort of start to establish large domes to kind of keep people safe on the atmosphere. And the domes are called Skynets. Yeah, and they're built to protect the surviving cities on Earth. And if that wasn't bad enough, a meteor lands in the city of Hong Kong, and a giant alien plant, which they name Pandora, emerges and causes devastation to the area around as it takes root.
Wow.
And then whenever there's rain, it grows. And it just takes over more of the city. They're like, and then they look at the weather report, basically, and there's like a major tropical storm coming. So they're like, we've worked out its rate of growth, and it would like practically destroy the planet if this storm gets to it. So we've got to take it out. And so some scientists have developed this formula, which if you inject it right into the stamen, so like its reproductive organs, it will go through the plant and destroy it. But to get there, I mean, you've got to find it, and then you've got to get in there to do it. And they've only got like a few hours to do it. So one plan is, let's just nuke the place, but that would kill literally millions of people in the surrounding areas. So that like the army, the warriors of future are like, no, we could do this, and it all goes to hell, of course. And basically, they're against the clock. They've got to find the statement and get in. But as always, there's a villain somewhere, and he's trying to protect his financial interests, and so he doesn't want. He wants these domes to continue being built. So he basically reprograms some of the robots to like try and take out the warriors of future. So basically, everything is against these guys. I mean, everything. And it's just, it's madness. It's nonsense. But it is nonsense. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. It is a good waste of time. there's some great sequences in there, and there was a bit where there's this fight going on inside a van and on top of the van, and the way they kind of zoom in and out to take you to the different levels of the action, I went, this is some really clever filming going on right here. And also, you know me, man, it's people putting it on the line and self-sacrifice and teamwork and all of that stuff that just gets me going. So I was like, yeah, I'm all over this. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed Warriors of Future. It's nonsense. I'll say it again. It's nonsense, but I know. But it was a great waste of time.
Something told me they're not really going to be putting that in the DVD box. It was a great waste of time. It's nonsense.
It's nonsense, but it's well worth your time. It's the good kind of nonsense.
I saw it.
It's not even so bad. It's good. It's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I was just put off by the fact it was called Warriors of Future.
And to be honest, that was why. Because I saw the trailer and I thought, the thing is, there's a couple of foreign films that are coming out on Netflix that I've kind of got my eye on. Do you know what I mean? And that was one of them. I didn't realise it had already come out. And there's another one to do with a load of assassins that team up. I think that one's already out. I want to, I know what I'm going to finish off on, but I want to quickly mention the Doc Savage book. So this is called The Perfect Assassin by James Patterson. And someone on the GS group, I think, posted about it. And I was completely unaware. Or they might have posted about the Shadow one. I think maybe that was what it is. And I was completely unaware that he'd done these books.
Yeah.
So the Doc Savage one came out last year, towards the end of last year. So I'll read you the first paragraph of the blurb. Dr. Brant Savage is on sabbatical from University of Chicago. Instead of doing shallow fieldwork in anthropology, the goalkeeper spectacled PhD finds himself enrolled in a school where he's the sole pupil. His Professor Mead is demanding. She's also his captor. Now, I don't want to say any more because the next paragraph basically tells you, I think, the entire plot of the book.
Okay.
So I don't want to, you know what I mean? All I'll say is basically, this guy, Dr. Brant Savage, he might be the great-great-grandson of Doc Savage.
Okay.
But he's all skinny and, bit of a geek and whatever. And I've always been a bit dubious about doing Doc Savage in the modern day. I'm always a bit, I don't know if and they tried to do it in the comics and it just didn't work as well and stuff. But I have to say, this one worked. This one worked, and I really enjoyed it. Okay. And he basically gets kidnapped, and then the person that kidnaps him, she starts doing she's training him. But then, more revelations come out as you get further into the book and stuff. And a couple of them I didn't see coming, I have to admit. One in particular, I didn't see coming. And I think unless you're a dyed-in-the-wool Doc Savage fan, I think it will probably pass you by.
Okay.
Even though within the context of the book they explain it, so you kind of go, oh, okay, that's why, But as a Doc Savage fan, the minute they dropped a particular line, I was like, okay, I know exactly who that is now. Do you know what I mean? And that's tough what they've done, yeah. And it's set up really nicely to continue on. So I've just downloaded the sample of the Shadow book that he's done. I'm just reading through that to see whether or not I want to actually buy that. But I think if you're a fan of Doc Savage, I think it's worth giving it a go. And even if you're not, if you're a fan of kind of pulp.
I was going to say, do you feel like there's a bit of a pulp resurgence going on at the moment?
I don't know. Not necessarily, because I suppose he's got these two books, but films and TV wise, although they have got a I'll just quickly mention I've been watching the National Treasure series on Disney Plus.
I don't know this.
You know the National Treasure films with Nicolas Cage?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen a single one of them.
Haven't you?
No.
You should watch them, man. You'd enjoy them, man. They're good fun, man. Good romps.
Okay.
This one, it's okay, but I think part of the problem is it feels a little bit like the CW network are doing a National treasure film, a National Treasure TV series. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And I feel it needs to be a film, not a TV series, because it kind of feels like when you're on a treasure hunt, it should move at a certain pace, and it feels like because you're doing it as a TV show, it just feels like the pacing is off for it.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, I digress. Right, I'm just going to throw it out there. A comic that we've both read.
Yeah, there we go.
Here we go. Do you want to do the others?
Right. So I follow Facebook. Start again. I follow a Facebook account called Charlton Posting, and it's a guy who was reading Charlton comic books, which had stuff like The Question and stuff and all things related to that, like Peacemaker and whatever. But he's kind of moved out to looking at pulp in general. So the guy who does it, obviously a big lover of pulp. And one of the things I saw him talk about was Lavender Jack, and I just loved the name to begin with.
Yeah.
And the art looked amazing. So I told Barry about it, and we both kind of I recommended it, and I hadn't even looked at it properly yet. And Barry went and looked at it, and we kind of started looking at it at the same time. And it's by a guy called Dan Schgade. And well, what did you think of it? Oh, let me find a blurb. Right, so here's the blurb. The dawn of the 20th century, the city of Gallery is a place of science, diversity, and wealth. But it's also held in the clutches of a corrupt ruling class that's squeezing it for all it's worth. Enter Lavender Jack, a devilish vigilante whose fighting prowess and advanced technology make him a nightmare for Gallery's elites. But they're not about to loosen their grip on the city without a fight. They've got some devils of their own, you see. And the main protagonist is this guy. He's got some kind of devil mask on him. He smells of lavender, and he wears a lavender suit. And when people try to shoot him, he just clicks his fingers and their guns explode. And he's just basically digging into the dirt of all the ruling elite. And no one knows who he is. And so the mayor calls in, I've forgotten her name.
Madame Teresa
Ferrier.
Yeah.
And she's I suppose you could say she's the Sherlock Holmes trope. She's just an amazing detective.
Yeah.
And she's been brought in to get rid of Lavender Jack. Who is he? Villain? Is he hero? What's the score there? Is he a match for? Are they a match for each other? What's going on? And I mean, what did you think, B?
So I gave this my sort of pick of the.
This is a webcomic, we should say. This is available for free on the web.
So I've basically been reading this on my phone, and the one thing I realise now with webcomics is if you're the sort of person that spends a lot of time on social media and doesn't want to do that, get yourself into a webcomic.
Webtoons.com is a place I found it.
Yeah, because what I do now, every time I get an itch to go on like Instagram or Twitter, I just read another issue.
Right.
So I'm now on season 3.
What? We finished season 1 about a week ago.
I know. I couldn't help it, man.
I didn't even start. Jeez, man.
I couldn't help it, man. I couldn't help it. Mate. What did I think? This is... I was going to say, like, this was my comic of the year last year, right? But for me... So here's the thing, right? When we started Geek Syndicate... before we started Geek Syndicate, I'd kind of lost touch with reading comics. No big reason. I just stopped reading comics. Now I had nothing really grabbed me or whatever. And then I always remember, and it's funny how history repeats itself. I remember you either told me about a sequence in Planetary about.
No, I found it, and I went, Barry loved this, and I bought it for you and sent it to you.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And after that, I was in, and I blitzed through, and I was obsessed with that comic, and then it got me back into reading comics. Now, I haven't said that I've fallen out of comics again, but I found that last year I didn't know what to read. I suppose maybe that was a better way. And
likewise.
And my time was constantly being split with other things, and I just wasn't concentrating on stuff. And then you put this in my life, and like for me, this is one of my favorite comics.
For hands down.
One of my favorite ever. One of my favorite comics.
I think I said to you, having finished season 1 of it, there was not a single misstep.
No. And
story was great, the plot was great, the machinations are great, the art is great. It's just a win, man.
It just, and even and it does that thing of like, and and the second season does the same thing. It creates villains that you boo and hiss, but then you kind of see where the villain's backstory. You don't necessarily go, oh, I can see where they're coming from, but you can't help have a little bit of sympathy for some of what they're dealing with. Do you know what I mean? Some of their backstory, But from a pulp point of view, some of the moves that he's done with taking certain pulp characters and maybe twisting them in a certain way, and it's difficult because I don't want to say anything too much, but I will say one of the characters that he kind of does a little twist on is Tarzan.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet Lord Almighty.
I mean, that character, that's one of those characters where you go, oh, I see why you're like that. Wow.
It's just
that was dark, man.
And then you realise as you kind of get into it, and I was reading like their flashback, I'm trying to choose my words carefully, but you realise, oh yeah, it's Tarzan and Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
such a clever comic on like multiple levels, but just as a pure fun pulp adventure, colourful, bright, clever, inventive. The action is, when there's fights in this comic, you know about it.
Yeah. Oh, the choreography is so good.
It's so good.
It's so dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm on like. I thought second season was just as good.
With the black note.
Yeah. I thought it was. It was just as good, just as twisty turny. And
I thought, because in my luckily I haven't read season 2 yet, but I like the detective's not in it as far as I know, and I was like, is it going to be as good without the detective?
You need to read it. I can't say.
All right.
I can't say anything. But you need to. Let's just say that itch gets scratched. You'll be all right.
All right. Okay.
You'll be all right. But yeah, so I've just started season 3. Excited, but also gutted because I know season 3 is the end.
Man.
But man, what a ride it's going to be.
So having read it, if they brought out a lovely collected edition, would you buy it?
Don't even ask me stupid questions. Why are you asking me? Why are you wasting my time with stupid questions? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Man,
okay.
I would kick down someone's front door and like, I don't know why I'd kick down someone's front door, but I'd kick down someone's front door to have a hardback edition. And I think every so often he does, which is what I really like is when you read the webtoon, every so often he kind of comes in as himself, the Dan guy,
answers some questions,
and sometimes his colorist is there as well. And as I said, the execution of it all is brilliant. But he said as well, like one of the most asked questions that he gets is there going to be like are you going to release this like as a printed copy, like a hardback, or whatever? And he's basically said, there's a lot of hurdles to it, but it's something that he would like.
Yeah, because you'd have to reformat it for the page and think about layout.
Because even the format of it is wicked on a phone.
Because it's made for that, isn't it?
It's made for the phone. It
just works. Yeah.
I wish. Honestly, I wish if he dropped a kind of absolute edition size of this, man.
Part of me was going, how's he? Because you could tell there's a lot of love and work gone into this, and it's free. And I'm like, how is he affording that?
Yeah,
I'm glad he can, but wow,
but it's a bit of a labour of love. I'd be I'd love to try and like talk to him and some of the creative team on it because it's just such a
Oh, let's do it. Let's make it happen this year.
Also, as well, like this, without doubt, is
I know where you're going.
It's a masterclass in
how you do diversity. Yeah,
it's a mate with it's got, as far as I'm concerned, it's peerless. It's got there's no one to compare it to.
You're championing black people, not because they're black, but because their characters are so good.
Yeah.
And then you suddenly go, oh, look, I'm championing all these black characters. And you just are. Suddenly it's become part of your routine. That's what you're doing because they're just good. And that's how you do it. You produce good shit. You don't need to shout when it's that good.
But also as well, like, he's covering, you know, like, she's old, but like she's, you know,
Age, got the age.
She's got the age thing. She's in a lesbian relationship because she's got her wife.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have like homosexual, you know, and he's confirmed that Lord Mimley is like bisexual. Kind of gets into it in the second, whatever. But the way that he does it all is basically, well, that's gallery. That's the City of Gallery. That's just how it is.
Yeah,
And I think one of the questions that he got asked was about it, and he kind of said, well, he created the world where like things just worked out differently, in that diversity, in that the color of your skin and all that wasn't a problem. That didn't hamper you from kind of getting places or your sexuality. But what did is the class divide still existed. I just thought that's a brilliant way to do it. Because, mate, most of the time you don't even think about it. Every so often I sit there and I'm like, hang on a minute. Everyone in that room is black.
Yeah.
Who's chatting. All your major players, do you know what I mean, are black. And when you look at the comments, no one's kicking off about it.
No.
I do love his assistant, though.
Oh, Ducky. Yeah.
She's wicked, man.
But it's brilliant because you suddenly go, you know, he hasn't got it all. He needs Ducky.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's awesome, but he's not the be all and end all of the story by a long shot.
No. Yeah, it's a brilliant comment, man.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
all over it. That's a good place to leave it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double recommendations, double thumbs up, all of it. Lavender Jack on webtoons.com.
Get on it.
Absolutely. So, you know the deal. You can send us a message at the geeks at geeksyndicate.co.uk. You can find us on all the social medias under the name Geek Syndicate. Let us know what you thought of what we talked about. Were we talking nonsense or were we on the money? Let us know. Yeah, do that. And, you know, it's the first Geek Syndicate of the year, so have a happy new year and all of that. So, until next time.
Geeks of Future. We out.
Geeks of Future.
I mean, why?
No, you just one word. There's just one 3-letter word was missing, man.
One word would have just sorted it all out.
It still don't even make that much sense.
Warriors of the Future doesn't.
You know, it doesn't. There's nothing about that title that tells you, that says you should watch this movie. It's like, it's like fighting in not the past. Yeah. Anyway, I still worth for watching my book.
Yeah.
So, until next time, Geeks of Future, we out.